Hey you guys, so today I want to pick up the topic of side chaining again. About a month ago I did a video showing how to use your kick drum to side chain certain elements out of your recording. And today I want to talk about side chaining with vocals, how you can use it on vocals to push certain elements out of the mix, keep your vocals front and center. So here we go. So with pop music, often the things that are really predominant are rhythmic elements, low bass elements, certainly vocals. And with a pop song, often the vocals are very up front to begin with. So I don't necessarily have a need to push certain parts of the production out of the way to let the vocals sit properly or to have presence. But when you get into certain spots in your song where there are a lot of instrumentation that do sort of take over that same frequency range that the vocals do, you may at times find some conflict there. And that's very typical when you're doing a rock production and you have big heavy guitars, because first of all, big distorted guitars can take over a huge frequency range to begin with. Often with guitars anyway, we may do a little low and high roll off, but those center frequencies where vocals really need to cut through, often in the 1K to 2K range, especially those heavy guitars are really going to be dominating that frequency range. And of course, with the rock music, a lot of times you want to have the guitars very up front. You want that to really dominate the sound, sometimes as much as the vocal. So in order for your vocal to still have the proper presence, one of the tricks that you can do is to run a sidechain compressor on your guitars or other elements in that same frequency range, and use your vocal to push those elements out of the way. So the song I have up today is by a band called Potty Mouth. They were over at Warner Brothers. Their A&R asked us to write a song with them. So the lead singer came in and we wrote this with her. It's called Fence Walker. All right, so in the verse, the guitars are kind of very rhythmic, staccato. They're not really like a big pad like they are in the chorus. So I didn't bother sidechaining anything out on the verse. In this section, but by the time the chorus hits, it's full on. So what I did for the chorus section is I grouped the parts that were really competing the most with the vocal. So they're sitting right there in that range that easily compete with the vocal. So the first thing I did was group them together, then I side-chained them. Any basic compressor will do. As you can see right now, I have my attack set really fast. I have the release set about 119, and my threshold is at 25. So watch it and you can see where the vocal hits these parts. I'll be waiting on the side. All right, so you can see that I'm not aggressively pushing the guitars out of the way. I just wanted to push it out of the way just enough to give the vocal a little more room, a little more presence. Let me go a little more aggressive and you can see what happens. Very aggressive. Obviously, I'm pushing all the guitars out of the way in a huge way there, so that's too much. In this song, I have the vocals loud enough that I just wanted to touch the guitars and give it a little push out of the way. So And I could probably get away with as much as that. I'm just looking to make sure that it feels natural and it doesn't dull the guitars down to the point that they are not still feeling aggressive and doing their part really up front. All right, so one of the things that I used the sidechain on the vocal for, I created a vocal chop. All right, so with that vocal, I was starting to feel like in the pre-chorus, it was getting a little busy. So with my pre-chorus vocal, I actually used the lead to push those vocal chops out of the way. So in this case, I'm just using a waves compressor.
Are you afraid? Let me explain. Your ignorance is far from bliss. Not everyone is born with it. You play it safe. It's too late. Let's hope next time.
So it's just giving a little shove out of the way if you listen to it in the mix.
Bliss, not everyone is born with it. You play it safe. It's too late. Let's hope next time you change your mind, 'cause all the...
So I'm not pushing it out of the way too much, but just enough to kind of keep it out of the way of the lead vocal. So with this sidechain trick, I'm actually running the release much faster. I want the recovery time on this compressor to be quick, so I'm right back to the vocal chop when the lead drops out. My ratio is about 9. My attack is super fast, fast as the compressor will go. And I'm running my threshold on this about -23.6.
One is born with it, you play it safe. It's too late. Let's hope next time you...
All right, you guys, I hope you got something out of that. I hope you enjoyed it. If I've covered something too quickly or I missed something, please leave a question or comment below. I'll certainly answer that. If it's something in detail that I've missed, I'll make another video on it. And remember, if you got something out of this, if you liked it, please like, please subscribe. And until next time.